Jordan Wolf won't pan out.
Joe Walters is overrated.
Joey Sankey won't make it at the next level.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
The CD's free.
Is your insurance agent trapped? Probably. When agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop around to find you a better deal. Free to do what's right for you. Find an agent at trustedchoice.com.
Welcome to US4 for the matchup between Israel and Japan. Please rise for the national anthem of Japan.
Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome to the 2018 FIL World Championships here in Netanya, Israel at the Wingate Institute. I am Stephen Stamp, joined by Barbara Zelenay, and we are down to the short strokes for sure. We have Israel in their white with the blue trim, facing Japan in the red with the white trim, and these are some of the top teams in this tournament now. We're looking at the 5th through 8th placements among these teams. So the winner of this goes to the 5th place game, the loser goes to the 7th place game. All four, and the winner will play the winner between England and Puerto Rico, and the loser will play the loser of that game. But these teams have assured themselves at this point of berths in the 2022 World Championships. I confirmed that with FIL today, that there are 10 automatic qualifying spots among the 30 teams that will get to take part in Coquitlam, BC. And we're just about ready to go, Babs. And what are you expecting here?
I expect a big battle. I mean, this is the battle for blue, for the blue division, for that top 6 tier.
Right.
Japan fell out of blue in 2014, heartbreaking for them. And I mean, Israel, home country, right? They have a home tournament. They want to get into that blue division. That was their target all along. They were heartbroken after last night's game, where they didn't make it into that further pool for going for the semifinals, and they will give it absolutely everything tonight on this field.
That's probably even bigger than the top 10 is getting into that blue group, and the winner of this game, as you mentioned, will assure themselves of a spot in the blue group at the 2022 World Championships. They will be a top 6 country in the world, and Israel, I think, has gotten a lot of attention. It's the new program, the new kid on the block. They came 7th last championship in Denver, and everyone's kind of expected things from them. But Japan may not get as much attention, but I mean, they've been in 6 World Championships, and they've never finished lower than 8th. They won't again this year. They're going to be in the top 8, and they have 4 times finished among the top 6. They certainly are hoping to do that again, but Max Adler will take possession of the ball for Israel off the opening face-off. Gets it off to Zachary Paul, who is leading the club in scoring. He has 13 goals and 3 assists. Israel with the first offensive set on the far side. Papero gets it back, and Matthew Flapan will hit Kyle Bergman. Zach Paul, who's been just critical, and an absolutely burgeoning career for this young athlete. He's wearing number 19. Here is Max Sebald, the former Team USA star, around whom much of the offense runs. They've slipped Paul into the middle. Then that pass gets away. Nice little play. And the Japanese have a chance, the first chance they have, and they're driving towards the net. Nicely turned aside there as Satoshi Saike gets the first shot, or picked up that ball, and the shot actually coming from Tomoki Umehara. That one's going to go wide and no backup, as they were still pretty much in transition mode, and Israel will take possession.
Anything less than a top 10 finish would have been absolutely disastrous for both of these teams, so they have definitely reached that milestone, and they are in no risk of falling down that path. But they both want the blue division, no doubt there. Very
patient clear by Israel with no real pressure on the right. Now some pressure coming as Ken Ikagawa, the master setup man for Japan with 8 assists. But they get the ball to the near side, and Danny Leventhal will go for a run. Hands it off, and we'll see what Joshua Offit can do. Bergman takes it up at the top. Over to Sebald. Japan in the 3-3 zone. Paul once again slipping into the middle. We've mostly seen him, I feel, playing on the wing in this tournament. But he's standing in the middle and has his stick up by his ear, just trying to find an open space. And that pass doesn't quite connect there with Joshua Offit. Ball's going to roll out of bounds, and Japan will get possession.
Japan usually clears the ball much quicker than many of the teams here. They do have a clearing clock in the Japanese rule. Have had that for years.
So it's out of habit as much as anything else.
Yeah,
but
we don't see that now. Apparently
no.
I jinxed it.
Yeah, they are taking their time. Israel putting the 3-3-3 ride on, really trying to pick everyone up. But Japan do love to push the pace. And the one thing you'll notice in Japan in their game, when they get into the offensive zone, they're a perpetual motion machine. They do not stop moving their feet. There's always at least one, usually 3, 4, 5, even 6 players just moving constantly, feet and the ball in constant motion. And Jun Matushita gets the ball over center. And now we'll see this Japanese club go to the attack for the first time. They did have the earlier opportunity, but that was really out of a transition or gradual transition. They just hadn't settled in. You can see they've got cutters to the middle already. They do have one player up high. There's a shot that goes into the backside of the net. May have actually been a pass who just had it knocked away. Israel will come out, and now we're going to see a quick clear. Ian Kadish ripping down the field, already inside the restraining line at the far end. He leaves it there for Sussman. Sussman watched by Hashimoto. Tatsuki Hashimoto has had a tremendous tournament for Japan, and he is D'ing up Sussman. And you see even on defense, the Japanese really going, the turf is pretty dry. We can see some sand kind of kicking up, a little dust coming up, which is just the result of many days of playing on it. These fields have held up pretty well, but they are at the point of the tournament where there's only so much you can expect from some grass. That pass doesn't connect with Eric Fisher, or with Matthew Cherry, and is snagged there by the Japanese goaltender, Shunsuke Hattori. Hattori has had a 51% save percentage, while Ando, the other Japanese goalie, had about 38 for the tournament. So they go with Hattori.
Hattori, an ice hockey goalie also. He's out of Nagoya, which is in Japan more the ice hockey town. Everybody plays in their free time, senior league, junior league, whatever they can find. One of the few players not out of Tokyo.
Yeah, about a...
And Japan now on the ball, very patient. You mentioned earlier they're very quick on their feet, but they weren't in that game against England. This was just not theirs.
That attack repelled. They're going to spin back around on the far side. Oba. They move it down. There's a shot that's on the outside of the mesh. Japanese fans over to the right as we look across the field. Israeli fans on the left, proudly sporting their respective teams' colors. You can hear the Israeli coaches advocating to Andrew Kruger specifically, but to the entire team, to be looking up the field, trying to advance. They don't want the slow, patient ride. They want to get going. They want to play. Here comes Matthew Cherry. Looks like he's going to take a dodge inside, but they'll slow it down, give it to Sebald. Seth Mahler takes a cut through the middle. Now he's sneaking up. Looks like he might come set a pick. He's just going to slide into open space instead. Eric Fisher, number 1, is in the slot, and he is actually the backup goalie for Israel. They brought just their one goaltender, Eric Schneider. There's Bergman. He gets a shot off as 2 Japanese defenders kind of gradually coming towards him on the slide there, and neither of them really jumping on. That is where Bergman and Sebald can be dangerous. The zone has to be ready to come after them and rotate. And you will see, watch Japan, how well they move as a unit. I feel like they're almost like an amoeba, the way they just glide around, and one part is drawing the other parts with them. It's amazing to watch the unison that this defense moves in. Communication is so important, but you can't communicate as well as these guys just do instinctively.
Everything in Japan looks like that. It's quite amazing.
Sebald with the rip, but it's straight into the stick there.
Yeah, no trouble for the Japanese keeper at all on that one.
And here comes the quick clear. Just sprinting up the outside is Yuta Tanishima. He gets a little shove out of bounds or falls out of bounds. We are using the white balls tonight as we're going to be getting into darkness as this game goes on. And they found that the white balls are preferable once we start to hit dusk or twilight.
Japan with the favorable light here, as the Israeli goalie is looking more into the sun.
Yeah, it can definitely be challenging. That pass is tipped away, so Japan will get the ball. Now, Ken Ikagawa goes and picks one up from the end line, but the other ball had bounced off the fence and back into play. Kicked out by Isaac Paparo, and I thought it might roll back in. You can see a few balls, there are 4 or 5 balls right on the end line, not very far off, because there is a bit of a slope. They tend to roll back in.
Yeah, our ball boys have been doing a tremendous job.
There's a pass inside, doesn't quite get through, and now we're gonna have a loose ball push on the back. Andrew Kruder just a little overzealous. He is so big and strong, tremendous athlete, tremendous defender, but just a little out of control as he rushed down onto that check to take away the opportunity for Tatsuki Hashimoto.
The Japanese have certainly worked on their physique in the last years. They have bulked up tremendously. If you compare them to their 2010 team, which was extremely successful, even though they weren't massive.
Well, there's just so much size. When they try to keep moving up into higher levels, that is one of the challenges, is being able to handle the physicality of getting inside against the Israels and Canadas and US's. There's a pass picked off, just lurking in the middle of the defensive zone was Isaac Paparo, and he will snag it and head up. Oh, but the pass gets away. Tried to just flip it over to Jacob Silberlich, and it eludes him, so here comes Hashimoto. Hashimoto on the far side to Sakine. Behind the net, Ikagawa, watched by Kruder. They're going to lob it up to the top. There might be an angle here. A little spin dodge in the shot and the goal. Great start by Ryu Matsushito, and I cannot say his first name. I apologize to all our Japanese fans. I did go over all the pronunciations with the parents of face-off man Kanori Sugihara, and it's R-Y-U.
Ryu.
No, it's like an L-D-O-O.
Well,
like
Japanese
Lu.
R and L is the same for them.
Yes, but there's also my understanding from talking to the Sugihara Rosno family is that it is Lu. Anyway, we're gonna say Ryu. Lu. Matsushita, he gets the first goal regardless. Sorry that we can't pronounce the name, but we are very impressed with that shot.
Yeah, the offense was set up there by Sakine. Sakine has been on the squad for a while. I would love to see a statistics of his actual game time on field, because he seems to be on there the whole time. I don't know how he does it. He's one of, as I said, he has been on the squad for a while, 30 years old, one of the older guys on this team. And he's just amazing in setting up plays.
Yeah, and he did have 3 goals when these teams met in 2014. We will talk about that a bit more, but right now we are in our media timeout, which means we have some people to thank.
You could say, Sakine's epic performance leads us to Epic Lacrosse, the leader in technologically advanced lacrosse equipment, who is proud to be the official head, shaft, glove, and arm protection of the 2018 FIL World Championships in Netanya, Israel. Epic is proud that so many teams from around the globe trusted it for all their gear needs here in Netanya. Epic Lacrosse, live, play, be. And also today's game is brought to you in part by Corum Watches. Since 1955, Corum has adopted creativity and boldness in its guiding principles. Corum, the official timekeeper of the 2018 FIL World Championships. Learn more about Corum at www.corum-watches.com.
So we are around the midway point here of the first quarter. Pretty quick. quickly that this has passed by and very low-scoring game. We've been getting, it feels like more and more low-scoring games, especially in the first halves, as we've gone on into the week. And I think that's a testament to teams, for one thing, being at a similar level and being familiar with each other, and just taking away some of the things that the offenses like to do.
Definitely have respect for each other. They have scouted each other, and it almost seems, and people have heard me say this in almost any commentary I've done, it's like they're scouting live in that first quarter of each game that I've seen. They're taking it slow. Nobody wants to risk anything, lose that first possession, and everybody wants to get on the board first. And we've seen the exact same here in this game.
Kenori Sugihara Rosnow. We will be going with just Sugihara, but we wanted to get the Rosnow in at least once. Wins that faceoff, but gets stripped on the trail check. Ball still bouncing around loose, though. Kicked ahead by Paparo, who's been everywhere central to this defense for Israel in the first quarter. Japan will alternate their faceoff guys, so keep an eye out for Chris Gino alternating in that pass. Looked like it might get thrown away, but Ari Sussman tracks it down. Cherry back up to Sussman. He directs traffic and throws it back behind the net. A little change of direction. There's some space. The whip ripped by Sussman. It's going to go low to high, but just past the net.
Yeah, the field has taken a beating.
Zachary Paul, who's been dodging tremendously successfully from the wing. He cuts to the middle. The shot goes high, though, and he is going to be shaking his head at himself because he had space on that opening. Now he gets it back. Oh, my goodness. Play was being blown in. Israel started, but there was a ball on the field, so it was blown down, and Zachary Paul can't believe how open he was there. There's a rip from the outside. Paparo had just stayed up to play a shift in the attack zone, gets the ball and thinks, I'm just going to let her go while I've got my chance.
We've seen quite a lot of shots on the last 30 seconds here.
Israel slowing things down a little bit. Sussman will attack from behind. Cherry caught the ball, was in trouble, it pops out. Sussman tries to get to it. Ball still loose, and then a pair of Japanese defenders get after it. They're going to say a holding violation on Japan. Will hand the ball back to Israel. Jacob Silberlicht. There's Sebald with the shot, and somehow that one finds its way through. That's a beauty of a bouncer. And one thing you talked about, the field taking a bit of a pounding, the bounces aren't always super consistent, so if you're a smart offense, you're attacking on the ground.
Yeah, Hattori almost had it there, and then it bounced off his own feet into the goal. It rolled in more or less. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we've been told what we can expect from games in Israel, there's one thing for sure. It will not rain.
It has not rained. I actually was going to ask somebody about that because I've been here and there are some clouds today, but it does not rain very much.
Nope.
I mean, it's a desert area, so that's going to be a face-off violation, and Japan will get possession. Max Adler has been terrific for Israel, but he has a real matchup here with both Kenori Sugihara and Chris Gino. In that case, it was Sugihara getting that face-off win on the violation. Here's our goal scorer for Japan, Matsushita. Japan, even when they've got the ball way up outside their straining line, there's stuff happening down in front of the net, and now all kinds of movement. Again, orchestrated, fluid orchestration. A little falling shot, didn't get a whole lot on that. Satoshi Seike. I think he might have been better going for the bouncer there, because trying to go low to high as he was falling, he was losing his drive. Not a lot of time to think, though, as you're being knocked to the ground.
It's very hard to get a precise shot when you're already on your way down.
Yeah. That's why if you at least use that momentum to let yourself fire it downwards, even from where you are. But again, we have time. We have the luxury of time and an eagle's eye view to see these things. Whereas when you're getting knocked down, you're taking the shot you can get.
Yeah, this has been surprising from Team Japan. They have been doing some really small technical mistakes that usually you don't see at Team Japan.
Just lack of precision.
Yes, and that's very surprising to me. I was very shocked in that game against Puerto Rico where they were down 7 goals at one point. But we then see Israel do the same thing right here too.
Almost.
2 in a row, almost lost
They
it there.
do recover it.
That's
Max
Seabold.
Seabold grabs that ball and saves the possession for Israel. Scores 1-1. Wow, you can see we're already 14 minutes into this game with just the 2 goals. Each side probing. Boy, they're both such solid physical defenses. You're saying that the Japanese have gotten bigger. You can see their defenders. They're big, athletic guys. There's a pass towards the back door. Great block as Dan Kanayama just knocks that down. He's been outstanding through this whole tournament for Japan. And just like that, the Japanese are up and at GLE with the ball and attacking. Kruder shoving Sakine back around, not letting him work his way up, but they're in good position, Matsumoto.
What a matchup there, though. Sakina and Kruder. Just beautiful to watch, the action on both.
Lob pass up to the top, and we'll see Hiroki Kanaya. He's watched by Silberlicht, who maybe one of the best short stick D-middies you'll see around. He does get up in the offensive zone as well. I mean, he can attack, but
Silberlicht, one of the faces of Israel lacrosse.
one of the guys who really got things going in that country.
Moved here, I believe, almost 5-6 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, what a rip from the outside. That is just a rocket from Jun Motoshita. And that's just a high that he lets go. And Schneider got a late reaction on that. There was a lot of traffic in front. If we see this again from, hopefully we get the other angle. Here we go. You're going to see how much traffic there is between him and the net.
And look at that celebration. Also something that Japan has only picked up in recent years in international competition, as other teams have done it as well. The Japanese themselves are not known for big celebrations.
Adler wins it from Sugihara. Sugihara will pursue in defense. Sussman cross to the near side. Benjamin Smith. The long pole stayed up for a moment. Now he hands it off and we'll let Adler go. And it's, you don't generally see long poles hanging out up in the offensive zone. You also don't really see Max Adler hanging out in the offensive zone a lot. And now he's going to make his way over to the wing. He's staying though.
There are some long poles that just love to come to the offense.
Oh, you watch China, and they have one up there all the time. Literally 75% of their sets, they have a long pole pretty much parked on the crease. And it's actually a lot of fun to watch. I love watching China play. But right now, the pass. Oh, great save by Hattori after the pair of Japanese defenders went for broke, going for the interception, and left Daniel Leventhal all alone on the crease.
I think Yuki Mizuta was also there with the block. He's one of the more experienced guys on this Japanese squad. He just stood there and took it. Did not move a step from the ball. And those shots, they can hurt.
Oh,
I can tell you.
Kidding.
As an official, if you stand a bit too close, you do occasionally get one.
Yes, you're definitely in the line of fire. And the thing, as an official, you kind of blend into the scenery.
Well,
Players aren't necessarily noticing you and
You're
worried about you.
supposed to blend into the scenery. You're part of the field. And yeah, sometimes the ball finds you.
Japan gets their changes complete, and they are ready to attack. Iwano, Gaku Iwano, backpedaling to set up a momentum for the drive. He's going against Silberlicht. Gets underneath him, is handed off there. Nice job by Eric Cantor to slide into position. Israel, you can see much more of a matchup-based defense. They feel like they've got the athleticism to match up with basically anybody in this tournament, in the world. I mean, that is this tournament.
Yeah, there's no doubt there. They can definitely keep up with, on the athletic side, just as much as they can on the stick skills. I would even say stick skills, you know, they practice them all the time, 24/7.
Matsumoto spins, but Silberlicht right with him. Flag coming. And we're going to have the first penalty of the game. The flag actually landed right in the middle of the slot. And a stall is on.
That is unusual, a stall warning after the flag.
Yeah, spin dodge across. There's a shot. It's going to be snagged by Schneider. And we'll see what the call is. Illegal cross check?
He got a cross check on that one. I don't think he agrees. He's very upset about that. Going into the bench for a minute. The stall is still on as Japan is man up.
So they have to stay inside the attacking box. I am pretty much on the record as saying I like to let him play, let some physicality go. I mean, I'm a box first guy. Love the field game, love being here, but definitely like to let him have some physical side. But that is a quick goal. We'll see if Japan takes their time out to get a chance, but to use the second part of that penalty. But
there's 30 seconds left in this quarter, which means that Jake Silberrecht will stay in the box until the next quarter, since personal fouls in FIL are non-releasable. And it will really depend on who has the ball at the end of that quarter. Whoever has it keeps it. If it's loose, we have a face. We have 10 seconds for this face-off to get going.
I've seen several instances where, in that case, the officials just don't even blow play in. They just stand there and wait. But now we have run out of time. Nobody establishes possession, so face off again at the start of the second?
Correct. Face off at the start of the second. Yeah, you know, it really depends. Normally you have about 30 seconds to get face-off started if there's much less left. In this particular case, you know, the goal was scored at 35 seconds left, so you should be able to get a face-off going. And especially because you have a man-down situation, you want to give the team a chance to get the ball.
I actually
thought
thought
to gain possession.
Yeah, I thought Japan would take their time out after the goal so they could use the other 35 seconds of the quarter and go on into the next half if necessary.
I couldn't agree more.
Up. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
I was quite surprised. And
that is usually exactly the time where timeouts are being taken to preserve maximum man-up time.
It's almost automatic. So
yeah,
I was quite surprised
I already
to see
saw
the clock
the
going.
chief bench official, you know, kind of
ready to
nudge over to the Japanese side, waiting for the timeout call, which didn't come. But we trust our officials that they hear it when it's about to come. And Trusted Choice is the official insurance partner of the 2018 FIL World Championships. Protect what matters most, from business to home, auto and life. Trusted Choice independent insurance agents are there for you when disaster strikes. Go to trustedchoice.com to find a local agent today. And we also trust the provider of nets. Gladiator Lacrosse makes equipment designed and perfected by lacrosse players, specifically for lacrosse players seeking to take their game to the next level. Visit gladiatorlacrosse.com. Let's see if either of these teams can take it to the next level in this second quarter. We're about to start off. Nobody had possession at the end of that first quarter, and thus, even though we're man down, man up, we continue with a face-off.
And they have been face-off battles. I mean, Max Adler is a real warrior out at the axe, but he's going up against a couple of guys who are just as determined as he is. Adler has really come on. He's made a name for himself in MLL play, and he's really become known for his face-off acumen. This time we're going to see Chris Gino going up against him. It's been primarily Sugihara to this point, but as I mentioned before, Gino and Sugihara do tend to alternate, and you'll see they have moved the face-offs over away from the original face-off spot just to get some grass. Give these guys a little better opportunity to work without, for one thing, the dust popping up in their eyes. And that's a great win by Gino. Absolutely clear.
And a beautiful dodge there as well.
Silberlicht is released and will head back to play defense.
He's a tremendous athlete. He's just, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stand next to him, you really can.
He's a beast.
And he's one of, as I said, the faces of Israel lacrosse, speaks perfect Hebrew, you know, has been here for years, builded up the program with the likes of Seth Mahler, and has really been working hard to get this program to the next level.
Japan with a handful of players in the slot, rolling out now a drive down by Oba. He's going to cut in behind, has one man helping him, but again, the constant motion by Japan. They always have somebody cutting in, always have somebody cutting out, trying to get the defenders distracted. There's a nice shot on the off wing, just a little bit wide by Hiroki Kanaya. That one's going to go wide, out of play, but Japan in good position to get the possession off the out of bounds. Here comes Ikugawa. Again, Ikugawa with 8 assists, leading Japan handily. He will set up a lot of what is going on for this team. Oba. Ian Kadish closing on him. Silberlicht lurking and now goes to find whoever's going to cut. And that's just pretty sharp by Silberlicht to make sure of his assignment, not letting anyone slip in behind. You can see the attentiveness of the Israeli team. Heads on a swivel, but again, there's a backdoor cutter. Great job. That was Benjamin Smith coming and taking away the cut by Jun Motsushita. Sorry. Matsushita.
Yeah.
I think I was being taught the way that native Japanese would say the names, and I just think I can't slide through, devocalize the U's and things. There's a cut to the middle and a goal. Great catch. Never even lifted his stick up above his shoulders. Taking it at shoulder level is Shigehiro Oba. And that's a beautiful pass. And then the great finish.
Wow. Gives a 3-goal lead to Japan now in the second quarter. Nice play.
What a cut. And he just slips away from Ian Kadish. And such a smart decision to shoot from where he caught that ball instead of trying to adjust. He's already virtually diving as he catches the ball, gets it, shoulder height, and just a little shovel. He knew quickness and accuracy were more important than power. And another face-off win for the Japanese. Saiya Natsume will come up with it. They go back behind the net. Almost another goal. As it looked like Satoshi Seike may have had a spot on the far corner just inside the post. At X. Wataru Tsugu. Up to Seike. He rotate around. Around to Iwaru. Seike gets underneath, shoots far side, and just slipped under the check of Seth Mahler. And this is unusual. The number of times we're seeing the Japanese just slipping away from their checks, slipping out of position. Japan's going to take a timeout to set something up here as we are 3:45 into the second quarter. I'm Steven Stamp, joined by Babs Zelene. And wow, I mean, we know Japan's good. We were saying it's going to be a matchup, but I think Israel felt a little shell-shocked at this point.
I think so too. I believe they thought they will come out stronger against this Japanese squad, especially after seeing them against Puerto Rico, where quite honestly Japan struggled for most of the game and made the end score a little bit more respectable, but lost it absolutely on the field of play. They came out much stronger next day, and they look very strong right now, and maybe Team Israel is a bit surprised by that.
I mean, Israel's not going to be stunned by it. They know Japan can play.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But still, it's just, I think, the degree of control that Japan has asserted so far in this game. Now, again, we have just under 60 minutes to play. We've got about 57 minutes to go.
And today's game is brought to you in part by JBC Money, the money transfer specialist for private and corporate clients. Start saving today with bank-beating exchange rates, no fees or commissions on your international money transfer needs, and with the support for 60 different currencies. You can learn more at jbcmoney.com.
So we are going to get back underway at the 2018 FIL World Lacrosse Championships here in Netanya, Israel. We are on Epic Field. Field number 4 of this Wingate Institute. Great facility for the event. And just a quick shout out to the Israeli organizers who had 13 months to put this together. And Babs, you're part of that organizing team. You guys did an amazing job. Nothing is ever smooth and perfect, but incredible to do this in 13 months. Here's another chance for the Japanese as they start up in the offensive set. They're driving up a Kruder, repels Seike. So they're going to set it back up, and I feel like you need a little more shiftiness to get by Andrew Kruder. You can't just muscle your way through because he's one of the stronger guys in this tournament.
Yeah, strong, big, absolutely athletic, very good on his long pulse, so getting past him is not easy. That's why also earlier the matchup with Sakina there.
Here comes a dodge underneath, but Iwano loses possession as the ball is actually chopped. The stick of Vicky Kagawa chopped into his hands. Here comes Israel. Matthew Popek. Over to Zachary Paul. Israel with just 4 runners out in the attacking zone as they're completing their changes. So they'll just go yellow and wait for everyone to get involved. Max Sebald is the last player coming out, and he will now take the pass. Actually, there's one more. Bergman is going to sub in. They still had Popek to get off, so lots of time. They only trail 4-1. There's certainly no rush at this point. Israel's going to try and get their offense flowing the way it normally does. Ryan Hunter back up to Bergman. Sebald gives it right back to him. An attempt at a split dodge, but is taken by Japan. And rolls straight back to Bergman. Now there's some trouble. Oh, what a great play by Hattori, as he had Joshua Offit wide open on the back door and just reached out just enough. Now,
nice defense there by Yuta Tanishima.
The big hit. They are going to award Israel the ball. I thought that may have been a pass more than a shot, but
you know what? From here it looked like it, but I mean, it was more or less an attempt to shoot. He just was turned by Tanishima, and that made it go out of bounds.
Offit probing. He's going to try and cut through the middle again, but great work. Now Bergman. You can see the Israelis are moving closer and closer. There's Paul with a great look and a goal. Japan is trying to say that wasn't in. Hattori is like, no, it wasn't in, but that was clearly over the line. I don't think there's any question that was a goal.
Randy Milo, the official there, was definitely close enough to see that.
You can see on the replay, I mean, that ball's in the net.
Yeah, Hattori is disappointed. Can't believe it.
Let's see if this angle shows it a bit better, but that's just too much space. The slide is way too late.
Oh, yeah. It has to be completely over the line for it to count as a goal, but no question there. Randy was right on top of that.
Sugahara for Japan, Adler for Israel. It is 4-2 for the Japanese in red. And they're going to reset. Nice job by Sugahara to pop it out. Almost double clutched, getting that out of his stick. That was close. Yeah, you can only pop it once. If it doesn't come out, that's a violation. You give up the ball. That's why you can tend to see them come really aggressively with that pop to make sure it comes out. Especially as those stick heads take such a pounding.
Yes, exactly. But it did come out.
It did.
It did. So that's what counts here. And Japan now with the possession.
Looks like a shot is coming. That one's going to go wide. Almost takes out Andrew Kruder. That was well off the target. Almost to the point you were wondering if he was ripping it at Kruder to make him think twice about how close he's going to stand to the front of the net.
If it wasn't the Japanese, I would absolutely agree with you.
That's true. It does not seem to be primarily in their repertoire.
Not necessarily.
Hiroki Kanaya going for a little bit of a dodge. Quick reversal. They've got the Israeli defense moving all over. You can see Israel dropping into more of a zone concept. There'll be a series of adjustments and readjustments throughout this game. It's going to be fascinating to watch the chess match of tactics.
Nice change of pace.
The shot stopped by Schneider, and he's going to go immediately up the field. Gets it out to Paparo. Silberlicht is the trailer. Now he's going to head up in front, and they look for him. But you can see Japan very aware. Kota Takayami was the one to go. He's the one to go pick him up and stay right on him as Cherry runs along the baseline. Brings it back out to Hunter. Offit will take the pass as he comes onto the field. We're nearing the midway point of the second quarter. This game's flying by. Still just a 4-2 score. Japan ahead. I'm Steven Stamp with Babs Zelene. Pleasure to have you back in the booth.
Thank you for having me for this tremendous game. I was really missing this Japan squad the other night when they were playing Puerto Rico.
I love watching these guys play, and there's a big save by Hattori, swatted at by Zachary Paul, comes back out to Cherry, he's gonna have a go. Stopped by Hattori. Oh, and the huge chop knocks the stick out of Cherry's hands, but nobody can quite corral that ground ball.
Oh, look at this battle. Oh my God.
Satoshi Seike, he comes in with it, 2-on-1, shoots, oh, the pass was there. I think you want to have that one back.
Isn't this why we love this game?
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, these are two of my favorite teams to watch because they are so much fun.
Oh my God, so much action in just 15 seconds. I can't believe it.
Wataru Sugu has it, throws it up, and there's a pass. Turn around. I don't generally yell directions, but you got to turn around, Hiroki Kanai. And I did turn around and got it. His teammates were yelling the same thing. He was heading for a change. The missed pass, or errant pass, came rolling behind him. He had to spin around.
Yeah, that's the one time where you don't have to understand Japanese to know exactly what's being yelled. They always yell in very much unison from the sideline as well.
It just basically means pay attention to something going on. Sugu throws it up to the top.
Look at that
Hashimoto. Good decision to pull that down. Wasn't really a lane to shoot at. Oh, nice attempt. There was good defensive positioning by Ian Kadish, but then just the quick, fancy footwork by Satoshi Seike managed to make it. We are going to take our media time out as we are halfway through the second quarter.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Celebrate. Everywhere, every day, communities are turning to Celebrate's leading digital intelligence solutions to make a safer world more possible. Visit Celebrate.com to see how. And Cascade is the #1 helmet in lacrosse and is proud to be the official helmet of the 2018 FIL World Championships. See more by following Cascade Lacrosse on Instagram. Cascade Lacrosse, a passion to protect. And who is protecting us today are the officials, who are looking very sharp thanks to Honix, who's proud to be the official provider of game day apparel for referees at the 2018 FIL World Championships. Founded in 1984, Honix is the right call for referees, umpires, and officials across all sports in the United States and around the world. Visit honix.com for more information. Honix, the right call for over 30 years.
Let's just take a peek at how... Let's turn my mic back on and we will take a peek at how these teams have reached this point in the tournament. Both teams 4-1. Israel coming out with 4 straight wins. They beat Jamaica 11-3 in an opening night dandy. Then a 19-2 win over Russia, 11-8 over the Philippines in a very good game against a very competitive Philippines squad.
Oh, Philippines just beat Scotland big time.
Handily, 12-6 I believe was the final.
Yes, the Scottish squad was very surprised, I would say.
Well, and they jumped out 7-1. 6-0 and 7-1, and then Scotland fought back to be at 7-5, but then Philippines obviously poured it on. Then Ireland and a handy victory for Israel, 16-4, and then last night the one they really wanted against Australia to get into the semifinals, where they just, I think they felt was their destiny to get into that, and Australia was having none of it. Australia played a great game. Terrific goaltending from Sean Aaron, and just an all-around effort, especially defensively, for the 9-6 win by Australia. Japan, on the other hand, started out with a few wins, and they did not have a lot of challenge in their pool play. 24-3 over Norway, 18-3 over the Netherlands. And they moved on, and I thought a surprisingly easy 15-5 win over Finland. That was Finland did not play to their potential that day, and Japan was precision.
Finland was having some trouble this tournament. I think very disappointed for them. They played a tremendous European Championship just 2 years ago, and they're known to be very strong out of the European teams, and they just couldn't deliver.
Then the game you talked about, Puerto Rico, really dominating, a 14-9 win over Japan when Japan had their finish moment, you can say, from this tournament. They just did not play well. And then the win yesterday over Scotland, 11-7, that got them here to this game and got them back on the winning track. Japan has possession. They will start with the ball in the stick of Ken Ikagawa. He immediately goes up to Sugu, and they start the rotation around the outside, and still constant movement in the middle. While the ball's on the outside, keep your eyes on the middle of the field. Something will be happening in a red shirt. There's a chance and a goal. That's something happening as Mikisuke Sakine bounces one. That's a high angle shot just up under the crossbar.
You can just count on Sakina every time, even in that Puerto Rico game. And I hate to mention it all the time. My Japanese friends will hate me for it. But even in that game, you know, if you could count on somebody delivering, it was Sakina who put Japan on the board several times. And it's just so beautiful to watch him play, and fed by Hashimoto there, who's tremendous on his stick, and just beautiful footwork. I just love watching their feet.
Now, if you're an Israeli fan and you're worried, bear in mind that 4 years ago when these teams met in the 7th place game in Denver, Japan was up 4-2 after the first period, the first quarter. They scored 5 goals in the half. It was 5-4 for Japan, and then a 5-goal third quarter by Israel was the difference, as Israel won 15-10. 11 goals between the teams in the fourth quarter. So it's certainly far from over. We knew that already, but history from the last time these teams met makes it clear that Israel far from out of this, and they know they can come back. Several of these players were key players on that team. We've mentioned Kyle Bergman. Ari Sussman, number 23, had 5 goals in that game. Joshua Offit trying to work his way through. Japan going to a bit more of a zone, or staying with their zone at this point. Sebald with the long outside rip. Looked like Hattori had that one tracked the whole way and just let it drift out of bounds. Bergman. Sebald will go over to Offit. Offit's having quite a tournament with 10 goals.
And we're only in second quarter here, so plenty of time for the Israeli squad to make it happen.
Hunter down low. The shot by Cherry, don't think he quite got that one. Well, obviously didn't get where he wanted because it's not in the net, but they did have the backup. And Israel will start with possession once again.
It's still very calm here on this field. You can almost feel it from the benches. They're just disciplined and very in contempt.
That pass gets away from Offit. Bergman will track it down. He's got plenty of time. I'm Steven Stamp with Bab Zelene. Thanks very much for being with us, lacrosse friends, here at the 2018 FIL World Lacrosse Championships in Netanya, Israel. We are on Epic Field. Sebald with the rip. Save Hattori. Oh, and a chop. You hear Bill Barroza yelling he's not protected by the crease.
Well, the defender can be checked. The question is, was the Israeli player in the crease with his feet? Which I think is what happened. It's a little bit hard to see the crease from up here because it's been a bit beaten down on this very dry field.
You can get a pretty good sense, but I mean, the refs are right there again on top of the play. We definitely defer to their judgment as they're in perfect position to see it. Bergman trotting around the top.
And it must have been the feet, because otherwise it would have been interference in possession.
Yes.
And that would have resulted in a different call.
Japan really extending the zone. It'll be interesting to see how Israel attacks this. They start to fight their way through. The little skipper from Zach Paul, and that goes wide. Israel will retain possession, but that's the danger when you extend. They are going to leave guys open in the middle, and Japan may have caught a bit of a break that Zachary Paul missed that shot. Hunter goes to the back door. Offit's shot. Hattori was ready for that one. There was no debate in his mind. Dan Kanayama moves it ahead.
The low shots are no problem for Hattori. As I mentioned, he's ice hockey probed.
Oh, the ball comes out of the stick of Motoshita. And there's a chance. Big save by Hattori. Wow.
Again, a low ball.
Yeah.
And this one goes out of bounds.
Ryan Hunter just had a great chance there.
Timeout Japan. Israel not happy with that call on that out of bounds. Arguing that Japan kicked the ball out of bounds.
You think he did?
We're very far away.
Come on.
We're very far away.
It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. It's okay to admit that an official may have made a mistake. And I'll tell you, I talk to you all the time. I talk to Ryan Wallace. I talk to Keith Kanye. I talk to a lot of officials because I want to know why they're making certain calls, how you adjudicate things. When there's so many judgment calls, there's a constant game management to be considered. And one of the things that they will say is, you know what, we do the best we can. We're very confident that we get a lot of calls right, but bear in mind that, like, when I'm up here, you're up here. It's this, you can see better than anyone as a high-level official yourself that we have a great view at a lot of these things. Sometimes being down there is preferable because you are close, you can see what's going on. Sometimes, though, you've got players between you and what's happening.
Yes.
You've got dust kicking up. There are all kinds of obstacles that you have to navigate out there.
That's why having 3 officials on the field of play is so crucial, and that's why the system that we use for officiating, I personally think is so much better than, you know, sports like soccer. Because the one guy, he has no chance. Come on. And here, you know, you have 3 sets of eyes on different angles, not always on the ball. But yes, you're right. From up here, the bird's view does help on a lot of these things. When you're down there on the field or on the floor in box lacrosse, you have a completely different angle, and sometimes you just need the help of your fellow colleague. Yeah, and we make mistakes just as anybody else.
Is that okay? Hattori just, the official's hat was on top of the ball. Hattori picked up the hat and picked up the ball.
That is very surprising. I would have not thought that Hattori will do that. I think he was more or less pushed to do it because I think it was Ari Sussman was arguing there and wanted that ball.
Oh, Israel's been arguing the whole time. They wanted the ball.
Oh, yeah.
So having established all that sometimes we just have a better look. Was that off Japan and it should have been Israel ball? Come on. You can do it. It may well have been. We don't know.
It might have been. It might have been. But I can't tell you. I'm pretty sure the official was very nearby and must have seen something.
Matsushita ridden by Hunter. Zachary Paul getting on it. Some pressure from Japan, on Japan. And nobody really coming open, but Matsushita is able to run it into the offensive zone. Some space now to run. Back to the trailer. Natsume. He's got a lane. He shoots far side and scores. I thought that Schneider had that. And that drifting shot, almost a change-up by Seiya Natsume. Fools Schneider.
Timeout Israel now.
6-2, and Bill Baroza is collecting his thoughts. His Israeli head
look
coach.
happy right now.
No, and again, this is Israeli coaching staff isn't going to panic, but they have been quite adamant and getting on their players, explaining exactly what they want them to do.
Now, for our non-English native speakers, adamant, you will need to explain.
They're quite strongly stating their position about what they feel that the team should be doing. That's a great way
to describe it.
Thank you.
We have many people around the world watching this.
And thank you all, lacrosse friends, for being here with us. Babs Delaney and I, Stephen Stamp, thrilled to be bringing you this game. And we've done a few games together now. This is getting better. I mean, it was good at the start, but we got some rhythm going.
Oh, yeah, we're in the groove now, Stephen. And thank you again for inviting me up here. This is, first of all, I mean, front row seats here from up this tower. And it's just been great. And also Cascade is the #1 helmet in lacrosse and is proud to be the official helmet of the 2018 FIL World Championships. See more by following Cascade Lacrosse on Instagram. Cascade Lacrosse, a passion to protect. Beautiful helmets also on Team Japan in a very shiny Japanese sticker. It just looks sharp.
Just to give you the numbers coming into this game, Zachary Paul had 13 goals and 3 assists. Max Sebald, 10 goals. Josh Offit, 10 goals. So Israel definitely has the firepower. On the other side, Sugu leading with 12 goals and 3 assists. Hashimoto, 9 goals, 1 assist. And as we mentioned, Ikagawa had 6 goals but 8 assists. One of the leaders in the tournament. He is a setup master. And there is a big face-off win by Chris Gino. Max Adler was supposed to be an edge for Israel in most games. But I'll tell you, Japan has been battling, but now Israel gets it back, the lob pass, and then the whip pass ahead to Ben Smith.
Very precise passing on the Israelis. Beautiful to watch,
Smith is one of those defenders or athletes, anyway, that he just covers ground. He doesn't necessarily look like he's going that fast, but you just watch how much ground he is covering with those long strides. So smooth.
Both of these teams look very smooth when they play the ball upfield.
Bergman, watched by Umahara. Goes behind to Hunter. Pass is picked off. What a game Dan Kenayama is having. I mean, no surprise. He's a tremendous athlete back there. Great stick-hand coordination.
Just goes back and forth here. Very exciting. 3 minutes to go in this half. A 6-2 lead by Japan right now. And Israel looking for some answers.
Hattori just waiting. Got some teammates coming back to help you. Goes to Kanayama. Kanayama looking ahead. Thought he might go for the long passes. Motoshita had run up into space and was getting behind the defense, and it looked like Silberlich may have been lurking, may have been baiting the pass there. I think it was probably a good decision not to force that one.
And a
The stall on
warning.
in their own end.
Yeah, well, if you're playing this slow up the field in this game,
So
you have to get it forward.
Yeah, there's no clear clock
Not yet.
yet. Is it coming for sure, or is it in debate still?
If
Ball is
I
knocked down. They try to pass it through the middle, but it is swiped away. And Isaac Paparo having an outstanding game. Moves it ahead, shoots and scores. Paparo, what a play from end to end. Brilliance, and picks up some momentum for Israel.
With 2 minutes left in this half, very important moment for Team Israel. Beautiful, look at this.
That is amazing stick handling with the long pole to be able to just.
Yeah,
he's got
Hattori
it.
was not ready for that one at
No.
all. He thought it will be coming on his right. He couldn't have been more wrong.
Paparo doing that with the hands way down the shaft. He didn't shorten up like defenders will often do. Now, Ian Kadish has come out to take the face-off for Israel. That's not going to work out. Sugahara just rips it away, but then throws it straight into the stick of Ben Smith, and Israel comes up with it. The helmet almost knocked off the face of Matthew Popek. Play continues. Could it be again? Yes! Kadish back to back. 40 seconds, 30 seconds apart. Ian Kadish. That's unbelievable.
We haven't seen scoring from Team Israel in a while, and now 2 in a row in less than a minute.
From the defender.
From a defender, and we have a flag down as well.
It's a slashing call.
That was the helmet you mentioned.
Yes, it's coming against Isao Yoshida.
And a timeout by Team Israel.
They are going to take advantage because they scored the goal. That 1 minute penalty, non-releasable.
It would have started with the
With the
whistle,
clock.
so it's not running yet, independent of that timeout, but they probably want to get one more on the board before halftime.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a different ballgame. We have a two-goal game here now.
And the thing, I mean, like you said, it's not, I mean, they have the timeout to use.
Yes.
And you might as well have a go here and stop and use all the time that you can, because otherwise the clock would have run down. And they've got some momentum. I think that's the big thing. Even if it's not stopped, they've got the timeouts to use. They still have another, do they not? I believe that's the first timeout for Israel. Japan has used both of theirs.
I was going to say it's the second, actually,
Is it?
if I'm not mistaken. We will find out for you.
Yeah, if we can
during
check.
halftime.
Well, yeah, Bill Baroza was
double
indicating.
checking.
Yeah, double checking. I think he was making sure that they still have a timeout to go.
I thought they had one taken earlier.
There's the shot by Kadish. Oh, sorry, by Paparo.
But we will find out for you. Bill Baroza definitely looks happier right now than only a couple of minutes ago.
No kidding.
No, both have taken 2 timeouts.
Okay, there you go. So we're running through these final 45 seconds without stopping.
Thanks
What
to
an exciting
Point Bench
game.
for the stats.
Stats.pointbench.com, stats.pointbench.com. Great job they do throughout the tournament. Last year in Turku, Finland, they were still fairly new to the international scene from my perspective, and you can just see them getting better and better, and they're so responsive to what you need. They're asking you, how can we make this better?
It's a small team out of Europe.
Sebastian and Peter,
They do
the
everything,
head guys.
all the
It's
European
amazing.
tournament.
It's fantastic.
Israel with the ball.
Gets it.
37 seconds, and they are man up.
Sebald gives it over to Zachary Paul. Sussman will take it. Down to Bergman. The energy from the Israelis is palpable. The sense of urgency is up. They have the momentum, and they have 21 seconds. Zachary Paul will let it fly. Hattori stops that shot.
Again,
He's got
a low
Hunter
one.
behind him. Yeah.
The
Lots
low
of
ones are
pressure.
no
The
problem.
short pass out. And they're going to move it back. Just 10 seconds to go. Japan is not going to be trying to advance this very far. They just want this half to end.
And they don't have to since they're man down.
Yep.
There's
And
no
the
way.
launch, the moonshot, comes down, the trajectory way high, so the time runs out before the ball lands. And when I said Japan just wants the half to end,
We still should have around 15 seconds on that penalty in
Now-
that next half.
now possession
Yes.
to start the second half.
Yes.
If the ball is possessed by one team, while a team's shorthanded and the ball is passed, it's in the air, it hasn't been caught by anyone, possession remains with the team that was passing the ball, correct?
Correct.
So
So
when
in
did
this
that ball
case-
come down? Does Japan have possession? That was close.
I would wait for the official call here because it's not necessarily the whistle that counts. And
Right.
we only hear the whistle, right?
Right.
We
And
need the
it's the
official who
buzzer.
was actually with
Watching.
the clock to determine where the ball was at the
Right.
run out of that time.
Right.
And that's why it's so difficult to make the call from up here, because in this case we only have that whistle. Also the sound of the whistle, which many people don't realize, is a
Comes
little bit
after.
delayed.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's a difference between the FIL and NCAA rules, for instance, if you're watching. So that's why I wanted to point out that
Of course we're watching.
not us. I mean, the people who are
Yes.
watching from, back in the States, say, or people who watch NCAA lacrosse. Anyway, I am Steven Stamp. She is Bab Zelene. We're going to thank a couple of our sponsors, and then we're going to take a break for a little bit to get ready for the second half.
So these beautiful nets, black ones on the orange goals, are really fancy. Gladiator Lacrosse makes equipment designed and perfected by lacrosse players, specifically for lacrosse players seeking to take their game to the next level. Visit gladiatorlacrosse.com. And we also have, lost my paper here, I'm sorry. Epic Lacrosse, actually the sponsor of this field number 4, where many of the high-level matchups are taking place. Epic Lacrosse, the leader in technologically advanced lacrosse equipment, is proud to be the official head, shaft, glove, and arm protection of the 2018 FIL World Championships in Netanya, Israel. Epic is proud that so many teams from around the globe trusted it for all their gear needs here in Netanya. Epic Lacrosse, live, play, be.
And Sidewalls Lacrosse makes the first and only custom manufactured lacrosse heads that represent the style and individuality that you bring to the game, Babs. You shouldn't have to be Picasso in order to have a custom head. Check out sidewalls.com for official 2018 FIL World Championship heads and more. That's sidewalls.com. Sidewalls spelled with a Z at the end. It's an S at the beginning, a Z at the end. This game is brought to you in part by New Balance Lacrosse. Wear what the world's best are wearing. A cleat designed specifically for lacrosse, the all-new Freeze 2.0. Get more information through the NB Lacrosse Instagram account and shop at newbalance.com/lacrosse. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. I'm Steven Stamp with Barbara Zelene. Thank you, lacrosse friends, for being with us at the 2018 FIL World Lacrosse Championships, brought to you on the ESPN family of stations.
Jordan Wolf won't pan out.
Joe Walters is overrated.
Joey Sankey won't make it at the next level.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
Is your insurance agent trapped? Probably. When agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop around to find you a better deal. Free to do what's right for you. Find an agent at trustedchoice.com.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. Cascade. Passion to protect.
Jordan Wolf won't pan out.
Joe Walters is overrated.
Joey Sankey won't make it at the next level.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
Is your insurance agent trapped? Probably. When agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop around to find you a better deal. Free to do what's right for you. Find an agent at trustedchoice.com.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. Cascade. Passion to protect.
Israel during the summertime.
Hector will start with possession. They maintain it now. They move it ahead.
In that last matchup you mentioned from 2014, Israel came back big time. Flag down.
We'll see. It'll be against Israel again. It was a 5-4 lead for Japan in that game at the half. That ball bounces out of the stick, or pops out of the stick of Ikagawa as he tried to get a shot off. It's going to be a slashing call, full minute, non-releasable. So a chance for Japan to try and extend this lead. As we were saying, it was 5-4 at halftime of that 2014 seventh place game, and Israel came out and had a 5-0 third quarter. So Japan could change that script, flip it on its head, if they could score 1 or even 2 goals on this man advantage.
We are in third quarter now. Let's see if Israel can repeat their effort from 2014 to come up top. But
oh, nice save by Schneider, but the rebound put in. The putback by Hashimoto, Tatsuki Hashimoto. And it's...
what a rebound. Wow.
7-4. The scoreboard actually jumped to 8. And I was thinking, there's no 2-point goal in FIL lacrosse, and certainly not from right on the edge of the
Look at
crease.
this now, the replay. Oh.
Great athletic play to twist his core, go for the twister to get it back as Hashimoto was running past the net. His momentum really carrying him by, because that's where the ball was, and he contorted to get that one in.
Schneider in complete disbelief there with his complete defense. He could not believe that one.
And play is underway while Schneider's still pointing at the scoreboard, and they get it corrected. Paparo up into the offensive zone again. He's already scored tonight, and he looks like he wants to do it again, and he does! Paparo and Kadish are the offense for Israel lately.
Good effort by Natsume, but it just wasn't enough.
And no help coming.
No.
From the Japanese defense.
Look
you
at
can see how wide out
Natsume.
they're
He's
spread.
on there getting beat. The trail doesn't really hit anything, and the slide from Tanishima comes just way too late.
Yeah, and I mean, there was no Japanese defender anywhere near Kadish as he got by. So once he'd beaten his man, he was wide open. Another face-off win by Chris Gino. And Japan is doing very well at the face-off X.
This is definitely the team I have missed in that game 2 days ago.
Low pass at the feet of Yuki Minuta, but he is able to corral it. A couple of fake handoffs. It's like they're running play action. For our non-American or non-North American fans, that's in football when you pretend to pass the ball to a running back, hand the ball to a running back, and then you go and pass. Thank you to our lacrosse friends from all around the world who are joining us for this 5-8 semifinal action at the 2018 FIL World Championships. A little slip dodge by Moshita. The pass across. Looked like Kanaya may try to spin inside, but he is repelled effectively there by Popek. He's going to go for another one just straight underneath, and then passes, swinging it around. Japan continuing to move. Spin off the check from Mahler, getting to the net. Oh, great play by Schneider to come out and help himself before the shot could be taken by Sakine.
Sakine tried a little behind the back there. He had the feet for it, but no angle.
Off the post on that jump shot. It didn't look to me like Kanaya had much of an angle, but he did get it off the pipe.
What happened?
We're going to have a face-off.
And our American friends will love this. You never have this in NCAA. So an inadvertent whistle, if I'm not mistaken. And because the ball was loose to determine possession, there would be a face-off, but Randy Milo, the head referee, has corrected the call and gives the ball to Team Israel. And he's coming by to explain.
Oh, I don't think he's going to explain much.
No.
He just said that's the call and let's go.
Not sure what happened there, but we will find out later on.
You will.
I will, because I want to know.
It'll be too late to share it with us unless you're going to tweet it out. Here comes a drive by Sebald, dodging through everyone. The save by Hattori. Sebald beat everyone except the goalkeeper. The pass out is a little bit wild. Can it be saved? Kanayama can't get there quite in time. Sorry, Mizuta couldn't get it. Now the pass is thrown by Israel across, and it should be Japanese possession. They are in disbelief that it seems to be. Yeah, there we go. The correction being made now. The officials will get together. That was clearly either it's a pass that went out of bounds from Israel, so it's Japanese ball, or it's a shot, but the Japanese player was closest to the spot where it went out. That was Tomoki Umehara.
This one was in my blind spot, so I can't tell you anything, to be honest.
No, it was clearly they have gotten it correct now.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it just takes a little bit longer, but you want to get that call right, so you can always stop the clock to make sure that you have it right. And same as the teams, you know, sometimes they take a while to get it right. And I mean, Israel has taken a while to get back on the board and have scored then 2 beautiful goals within a minute.
I think the response by Japan here in this quarter was huge to get a goal back, because I'm sure they're aware that they gave up that 5-0 third quarter back in Denver. And now that they know it won't happen here, it might just bolster their confidence. Hashimoto backpedaling while Japan completes their changes.
A really heartbreaking result in 2014. First you lose your spot in Blue Division, and then you lose the last game of the championship for 7th place. Not something
spin.
that they were hoping for.
Thought we might have a shot coming, but they're going to toss it back out. Continued motion. Matsushita to Ikagawa. Back out to the top now. Oh, a little bouncer. Kind of handcuffed Hashimoto for a moment. Hashimoto will initiate the dodge from up top against Kadish. We're gonna have to check this out. How many goals does Paparo have? Has he got 3?
I will double check.
If you could do that, that would be fantastic. There he is on the check on Seike. Japan being patient, but always probing. They're moving constantly. There's a cutter in the middle, nicely picked up by Paparo. Matsushita, watched by Kadish.
2 goals by Paparo.
2 goals by Paparo.
Those were the 2 in a row within a minute.
And then who was there? There were 3 long pole goals.
I'm trying to look.
And Kadish is out there with a short stick.
Is Leventhal a long still committee?
Leventhal, no, he usually goes short pole. There's a pass inside. Quick slide, banging Hiroki Ito as he tried to get onto the crease. Toe drag, there's a chance. Oh, but it pops out of the stick. Goes straight out to Ito and he misses. He can't believe it. Sorry, that was Ikagawa with the shot. Stall warning on Japan. Now, that's what I don't quite get, because how do you get a stall when you just shot?
Because the stall is still on. The stall does not end until you lose possession or score a goal or the period ends.
Okay.
That's how long the stall warning is on.
I think I'd missed the stall going on in the first place.
Yes, it was just before that shot.
So there's a shot. It will be still on. Ikagawa will start with possession. We're going to reach the midway point. We'll take our media time out at the next stoppage, and we could continue with the stall warning on after that.
It will definitely stay on. As said, it only ends by losing possession, scoring a goal, or the end of the period.
Ito taking his time. Watch there. We have a goal behind us, and if it is 7-5. We have matching scores again.
It's been eerie. The fields 4 and 5 in sync. We also share the tower here on the commentary.
Matsushita, watched by Paparo. Japan in no hurry. The stall's still on, but they're staying inside the box. There's a chance and a save.
Now
oh my
it's off.
goodness, Schneider with that save.
And Israel will press the ball towards goal now. They've had to withstand quite a long possession by Japan.
And Kadish was just saying, okay, settle it down, take your time, we need a rest. The defense has been working hard defense is not sprinting all the time against Japan, but you're constantly moving, constantly having to be aware.
Well, you have to keep up with the footwork of the Japanese, and it's almost like watching figure skating on some of them. It's very impressive. Israel now slowing down as well on their end.
Seaball puts the shoulder down, tries the bull dodge, flips it back up top, ripped from the outside. That one stopped by Hattori as Leventhal was trying to find a spot. We are at the media timeout as we're midway through the third quarter.
And Israel will get the ball back after this media timeout. And today's game is brought to you in part by Signature Lacrosse. Signature is a premier equipment manufacturer on a mission to gear up the future of lacrosse with quality products that grow and enhance the sport. Learn more at signaturelacrosse.com. And also get an extra competitive advantage by upgrading to Sisu, the official mouthguard of the 2008 World Championships. Sisu offers more protection with less mouthguard so you can talk, breathe, and drink with no problem. Learn more at sisuguard.com. These teams have been communicating very well in their defense as well as in their offense, probably also thanks to some fancy mouthguards. And this game is also brought to you by Sidewalls Lacrosse. Makes the first and only custom manufactured lacrosse heads that represent the style and the individuality you bring to the game. You shouldn't have to be Picasso in order to have a custom head. Check out sidewalls.com for official 2018 FIL World Championships heads and more. That's sidewalls.com, sidewalls with a Z. And this is Barbara Zelena and Steven Stampa.
And we will take a quick break for about a minute and 45 seconds here. We'll be back to the 2018 FIL World Lacrosse Championships here in Netanya, Israel on Epic Field. Welcome back, lacrosse friends. We are ready to roll. We're over midway through the third quarter of this FIL World Lacrosse Championships game. I'm Steven Stamp with Babs Zelene. Israel with the chance, the shot and the goal right off the restart. Jacob Silverlick, and he is going over to the Israeli fans on the sideline and firing them up. He is firing up his team as he's pulled them within a goal at 7-6.
Third quarter seems to be working for the Israeli team, same as 4 years ago already. You called it at the end of that first half. Japan needs to regroup here and make sure that they don't lose that lead. Israel's squad now very pumped. The momentum is on their side as they come out of the media timeout here in the third quarter.
Face-offs have been going well for Japan. We'll see if they can get one. Max Adler has done so much for Israel, but it will be Sugahara who gets it for Japan. And he's a bit of a wrecking ball out of the field. He is so strong, and when he gets going, he can just plow through people. Does basically take the face-offs, but he will just charge up into offensive position to get the Japanese team all set.
The biggest body on this Japanese squad, it just rolls down the field really off that face-off, and he has been really good for this team, Japan, making sure that they get the possessions they need to score those goals.
There's a drive down the right alley. Now they go to X. Ikagawa taking a peek around. Sorry, that's Sugu. He's one-on-one with Eric Cantor. Trying to roll out, but Cantor matching feet with him very well, keeping pace.
What a game so far here on this epic field. It has flown by.
It has. We're down to the final 6.5 minutes of the third quarter. They come back up to the top to Motoshita. Motoshita gets a little bit of a stick to the face, and there comes the flag. That may have been cumulative. Seth Muller got the little flip up into the mask and then chopped down.
It was probably the fact that the Japanese player was already on that ground, continually checked. Israeli coaching staff certainly disagrees, and we'll ask on clarification on that one.
And the bench official, yeah, definitely was indicating right up under the chin.
Oshner and Rossband in the bench.
I didn't see the flag go up though when the stick came up under the chin. It was after with the chop while he was down on the ground and recovering. As you said, popping up. There's a chance at a goal. We have seen that before from Hashimoto, very similar to when he scored earlier, driving down the lane, taking the pass. Now, will Japan take a timeout?
They want to preserve that penalty time potentially, but
they don't seem to be.
They didn't seem to go with our calls on when they could take timeouts. We've had that in first half as well.
Yeah, here's another look.
Replay. In slow motion. Oh, all right.
Perfect pass. Hashimoto just, and we've talked about Japan getting into the slot and very quietly finding little holes in the defense, and they really spread things out so that it was difficult for anyone to help on Hashimoto. And Sugihara with another face-off win. That is one of the stories of this game. Ball pops away from him. Goes straight over to to Popek. Long ripped pass by Schneider to Paparo. He's on the run. He's been one of their sharpest shooters of the game. Will he try again? Oh my goodness, spin. Oh, it pops out. That would have been glorious. And there's a penalty coming.
And slash for a minute. Dan Kanayama will go sit for a minute and give Israel a man up. They will try to shorten the lead of Japan back to that 1-goal game we just had.
The Mahler penalty is over, so Israel has the full minute. I would guess if they can get a goal, we're going to see them take a timeout right away.
I would bet on that one, actually.
Paul gives it back to Sebald. They give him way too much time and space, and Sebald lasers it home. And frankly, he had all the time in the world to just load that up however he wanted, and you can't give him that.
No, not a player like Sebald. Look at this rip.
That's half a
and
dozen
Hattori,
steps.
No chance on that one. Just such a fast ball. Sebald, former U.S. lacrosse player. Beautiful
right over
goal.
the ear.
Beautiful goal. They did not take a timeout here.
No.
So I would lose my bet. Luckily, I did not put money on this one.
They did score early in that penalty. Now it's going to be, and it's still going, and they've got
now
balls.
They're even.
So now the Japanese player subbing on, will hustle in, and that is it. It is 8-7. Japan still ahead. We're way ahead now. It's still 7-5 on the other side. In field 5. There's another shot by Sebald. Spinning lefty this time. That one goes wide. And it will be Ryan Hunter tossing it to Paul. Joshua Offit. Leventhal trying to find some space. Watch there by Hashimoto, who is all over the field for Japan. Offense, defense, he's doing it all. He scored their last goal. Here's a chance for Offit on the run. He misses with that one, but you can see Hunter back at X as the safety valve, making sure they get possession back. We're coming up to the final couple minutes of this third quarter. What a tight matchup. We expect to see this kind of matchup as we get to this stage of the tournament where all the teams are filtering to their level. On the run, Sebald, that one well wide. Not his most accurate effort, but they will get the ball back as Hunter is still ensconced behind the net, which means he has settled in firmly. For our non-primary English friends. Leventhal. Sebald will go down low to Offit, but get it straight back. High shot, I think that just went clear. I don't think Hattori had to make a stop.
No, that went way past him.
Off it. On the run. Just a shoulder check there. Big bump by Matsushita. Sorry, that's Umahara.
And now a save by Hattori.
And he just
Who is in
barrels
trouble.
into his man. He's got to get someone. He rolls it over. Nicely scooped up there. And the Japanese will bounce it ahead. That's a great clear. And now Japan's going to take a timeout with 1:10 to go. And they're just feeling some pressure there, and they really want to value this possession and get things set up the way they like with a 1-goal lead.
They want to make sure that they take the time that they have responsibly. And Maverick Lacrosse is proud to be the official social responsibility partner of the 2018 FIL World Championships, with best-in-class design and input from the game's top players. Maverick is on a tireless mission to offer innovative, high-performance products. Nothing should get in the way of an athlete playing at their best. See more by following Maverick Lacrosse on Instagram. Maverick Lacrosse, powered by the player. Let's see what Japan comes up with. I mean, they're 1 goal ahead. Not a comfortable lead at all, especially not against a team like Israel. And yeah, you called it at the end of half. They've given up that lead that they've built up in the first half, just like they did in 2014. So let's see what they do to not end up like that.
But it was 5-0 in the third quarter back in 2014. This time, Japan has 2 goals to Israel's 3 in the quarter. So certainly a much more even quarter. More like, I mean, you look back at the fourth quarter, we're 6-5 in that fourth quarter for Japan as they try to inch back into it. And I think this is more reflective of that kind of competitiveness.
And next door we have Norway, who just beat an enthusiastic Switzerland squad by 2 goals, 7-5. And you can hear the cowbells from the Swiss fans. Nevertheless, both teams homegrown.
We are ready to go and back underway. Motoshita moves it down. Kanaya is going to go to X.
One minute left in this third quarter, and both of the teams want to take momentum into that quarter break. They both need it.
Kadish just repels the drive. Here comes Siike.
Just to remind you, this is the battle for a Blue Division spot or a shot at a Blue Division spot.
No, it is a Blue Division spot because you'll be top 6,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely, you are correct.
You go into the 5th place game, so you're either 5th or 6th. So somebody will be moving up to the blue group from this game. Israel, their first ever World Championship was 4 years ago, and they finished 7th. A brilliant performance, absolutely eye-opening. And they're going to improve, or have a chance to improve on that here.
And Japan wants to forget about 2014.
There's Kanayama with the great check. Is the ball loose? It does. It bounces all the way up, and Japan's got it. And time will run out in the quarter. So Israel trying to get a shot off at the final seconds, not quite able to manage it. And wow, it is 8-7. It is going to be a thrilling final 20 minutes. We're going to take a quick break. I'm Steven Stamp with Babs Zelene. We'll be back in about 2.5 minutes with the final quarter of Israel versus Japan action at the 2018 FIL Lacrosse World Championships.
Make it at the next level.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
Is your insurance agent trapped? Probably. When agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop around to find you a better deal. Free to do what's right for you. Find an agent at trustedchoice.com.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. Cascade. Passion to protect.
Still a little time left in the break here, but the teams are ready to go. The officials are ready to go. They're just waiting for the final few seconds to tick off. I'm Steven Stamp, joined by Babs Zelené.
What an exciting quarter ahead, 20 minutes. It's a one-goal game so far.
And a berth in the blue group of the 2022 World Championships in Coquitlam, British Columbia on the line, and Japan gets the face-off, but Sugahara's pass skips away from Tsugu, and that is not the start that Japan wanted. 10 seconds into the quarter to hand the ball over. Long pass ahead to Paparo. Maybe the best player on the field tonight.
Oh, Paparo with his 2 goals. He's just been moving the ball across field like no one else on
Defensively,
both
he's
spots.
been outstanding. I mean, just all facets of the game, he's been playing excellent lacrosse.
I would say him and Matsushita have been outstanding.
Seabald hands it off, and here's Jacob Silberlicht. Silberlicht scored a recent goal for Israel and was playing it up to the crowd. He is fired up, wants to get things going, but that's a pass that gets away, skips out of the stick of Danny Leventhal, and Japan will get it back. So both teams now have thrown the ball away in the first minute of the fourth quarter. I wouldn't think it's nerves. It's probably more just a question of as you go through the week, this is a long week. There's a real grind, and a lot of coaches will tell you the mental side of things, just not as sharp. You know, not being careful maybe with some plays because there is some mental and emotional even fatigue. If you go on top of the physical fatigue that you're dealing with from playing, this is the 6th game for each of these teams. They both come in 4-1.
I talked to the Israeli squad earlier today, and after that emotional game from last night where really they thought they had it and could have advanced into the semifinals, they were very sad after that. So the emotional side certainly plays into that. And also the heat, even though both teams are used to humidity, are used to hot summers, it's certainly in a long tournament like this.
Japan starting to move in. They had the wide open set. Now they are starting to break their way through, starting to get players into the box lower and lower, and you can see them starting to probe. Oh, that's an interesting little slide to the knee by Hashimoto.
That hurt just looking at it.
Yeah, he seems fine. Bounces right back up, and Ivano going on the dodge. He's going to go wide. Japan looking a little less driven towards the net, but now they're going. There's the cutter. Oh, he just missed the pass. It looked like Sakine had a lane if they could have got the pass through. There's the drive to the net. The ball is stripped. Matsushita goes after, and they're going to say a push in the back on Israel. It will remain Japanese possession.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with, Japan not driving to the net. I would say that the Israeli defense is matching up much more tight on this Japanese offense here, not leaving much room for any type of action.
As I said it, they started to go. So the announcer's curse. Things are going to change when you mention it. Here's a chance sliding down the lane. There's a rip, the save by Schneider. There's a good scoring chance there. Seike couldn't quite find his spot. No problem for Popek to take this pass as Seth Muller had no worries running up the field with that ball. You definitely sense the darkness descending here as we are 16 and a half minutes from the end of regulation time.
Don't even mention it because you're buying rounds if you do, and it happens. You do know that rule.
I didn't say anything. All I said was regulation time. Cherry behind the net. Watched by Tanahama. Out to Silberlicht. Little trail check. The ball is rolled across. Nice awareness as Izawa Yoshida had come back from being up high.
Nice double
Penalty
team by
coming.
Japan.
It's going to be Matsushita, who momentarily pleaded his case. It's going to be a 30-second technical foul on the push. Oh, it wasn't Matsushita that got it. He was just the first one to sprint off. Usually that's the guy who got the penalty because he knows the timer won't start till he's there. Bergman takes it. A man up for Israel and the chance to even this game up. Hunter along the baseline. He's going to come up to Zachary Paul. He's so dangerous once he gets his feet moving. Siebold to Sussman. Got to get out on him. There's Sussman. Bergman bends down for it. The penalty about to release, and the pass is picked off
by Mizuta. Where did he come from?
Mizuta?
Yeah.
He just came out of nowhere.
He was there all along, I think, and they didn't notice him.
He was just lurking. Sugu, watched by Siebold. We talk about Siebold's shooting, but here he is playing a tough two-way game. Working so hard to try and cause a turnover, get the ball back so Israel can start to work to chip away at this. Well, you don't chip away to one goal lead. You take it all out in one fell swoop if you get a goal. Kanaya.
Japanese fans getting louder.
Imploring them to the net. There's a shot as he's falling, and Kanaya could not make an accurate shot, but Japan had backup. They will reset. Ikagawa. Oba. Watched by Siebold. Sugu taking his time. Circling out. They lob it up. That pass wasn't handled cleanly the first time. Don't know if there's a shot there anyway. It probably would have been a force as Eric Cantor was right out on him. There's Oba.
Japan being very careful now not to force a shot that will lose them this possession. They want to be precise, they want to be on spot, and they want to score.
There's a pass through the middle, doesn't connect. There's going to be a battle for it as it wasn't picked up cleanly initially by Kadish. And Schneider will come away with the ball, passes over to Friedman. Friedman will go for a short trot and then hand it off to Siebold. And he's just going to run through, barge his way through a pair of Japanese forwards. Now there's a flag down.
They will discuss if it's a ward or an illegal body check. Let's see it on the replay. Question is, did he drop his shoulder or not? Or
How
was
much
that
did he
just
drop
a
his
hand
shoulder?
movement? I can't tell. I missed that replay.
Can
I have to admit.
we run that replay again, please?
Randy Milo, an experienced
Here we
official.
go. And here's the
This
second
is the
one.
second one.
He just, to me, he's just running through guys. He didn't.
To be honest, what Randy Milo is doing, head referee in this game, he consulted his single side official, Alex from Belgium, because he had the opposite side view on this play. So wiped flag, they're calling it a ward, and it's going to...
Oh, they're going to call a ward, so no penalty, but they will call the ward.
Yes.
And now both teams are unhappy.
Oh, hold on. Something's still happening. Yeah, ward.
Yeah.
Definitely going to Japan.
He definitely indicated it.
Yes. Randy feels like he will explain. He definitely gained an advantage by playing with that free arm. I can see why Jacob from Germany thought that it might have been more than just a ward from that motion that the player had by slightly dropping his shoulder. And
I
it's
think
really
that's a
just
decent
a question.
compromise. I definitely don't think a penalty was warranted, but I'm okay with the ward. I personally might not have called it, but again, we're watching the replay and they're making this in full speed.
I
Great
found
job
that from
in
up
the,
here, wards don't look like wards at all, actually.
Yeah. Iwano gets the ball running down, throws it to the far side. Japan will reset as Hashimoto. spins away.
They got it right. I totally agree with the call.
Yeah. Sakine, watched by Friedman. Japan in no rush. We're down to 13 minutes here, just about. 8-7, Japan still leads. I'm Steven Stamp with Babs Zelenay. It is the 2018 FIL World Lacrosse Championships as Matsushita comes outside the restraining line and Eric Cantor running with him. Israel still trusting their athleticism and their tenacity to go with the man-to-man defense and really limit the Japanese chances. But there's one, and it's a goal. What a cut by Gaku Iwano. Gaku Iwano with a gorgeous shot. He just a burst of quickness.
Look at his feet on this one, beating that slide as well and just ripping it in.
Well, and when you watch the angle, he drops the head of the stick down. It definitely looks like he's trying to reach out and drift this ball over to the far side. He rips it back to the near side. That is a gorgeous shot by Iwano.
And look at the excited Japanese fans.
Well, what a huge difference. 8-7 versus 9-7. Oh, but the win by Adler.
Especially in fourth quarter with 12 left.
Oh, yeah. Smith gets it. Over to Paparo. Man of the match for Israel. Right now, the man of the moment for Japan. Iwano has extended the lead to 2.
Israel definitely has the skill and the patience to make up for this 2-goal trail. They have not been up yet in this game. Right.
Japan roared out off the start. Leventhal backing away.
A lot of off-ball contact there.
These are two physical teams.
Yeah, both 19s, Mizuta and Zachary Paul.
Silberlicht. Looking and looking, gets it to Bergman. He's picked up immediately. Goes down low and a bouncer. Zachary Paul. He has been so dangerous on the dodge, but tonight he is a catch and shoot sniper on that one.
Beautiful goal. No doubt.
You can really see on the replay the angle that skip pass had to go on, as there was not a lot of space to get that one through.
Loved it.
Yeah, precision passing. It's a 1-goal game once again. Sugihara against, as usual, Max Adler. Kanori Sugihara. Sugihara. I said it right the first time.
Yes,
and I couldn't get it back. Adler wins it. I should have just stopped.
Yeah, just trust your gut.
Yeah.
Go with the first one.
Again, it was Sugihara's parents that were helping with the pronunciation, so thank you to them. They get all the credit for anything I'm doing right. I take all the blame for all the things I'm doing wrong. Here's a drive to the net, the double team. And Zachary Paul wanted another one, but he was repelled and the ball is picked up by Japan. They've got a 3-on-2. They think about going to the trailer. Smart decision not to. Now they go to the second trailer. Here's some space. The long pole stopped by Schneider.
We've seen so much offensive action by long poles in this game.
Takayama getting into that one. And here's Paparo again, the long pole. Paul gives it off to Offit. They thought about the give and go, but two Japanese defenders were honing in on Zachary Paul. We're under the midway point. The next stoppage in play will be the media timeout. And then we'll be in the home stretch of a thrilling game here at the 2018 FIL Lacrosse World Championships. I'm Steven Stamp with Babs Zelenay. Danny Leventhal with a pretty compelling hidden ball trick fake. He was loading up. I was like, wait, that's a lot of time and space, but does he have the ball? No, he does not. It is still over with Max Sebald. Puts the shoulder down a little bit. Shorthand shot, and that has hit a defender. And you can see he is staggered. That is Dan Kanayama. And he may want to think they're going to call a push, and he may want to think about taking a knee and get them to stop this play for a minute. We actually will get the stoppage for the media timeout.
With 15 markets across the United States, 3D Lacrosse is America's premier provider of lacrosse training and player development services, including box, field, hybrid training, select travel teams, team tournaments, recruiting showcases, leagues, and more. Visit 3dlacrosse.com today. Maverick Lacrosse is proud to be the official social responsibility partner of the 2018 FIL World Championships with best-in-class design and input from the game's top players. Maverick is on a tireless mission to offer innovative high-performance products. Nothing should get in the way of an athlete playing at their best. See more by following Maverick Lacrosse on Instagram. Maverick Lacrosse, powered by the player. And Gladiator Lacrosse makes equipment designed and perfected by lacrosse players specifically for lacrosse players seeking to take their game to the next level. Visit gladiatorlacrosse.com. Epic Lacrosse, the leader in technology advanced lacrosse equipment, is proud to be the official head chef glove on arm protection of the 2018 FIL World Championships in Netanya, Israel. Epic is proud that so many teams from around the globe trusted it for all their gear needs here in Netanya. Epic Lacrosse, live, play, be, and we are here at the Epic Field. Field number 4, Japan playing the home team Israel for a Blue Division spot. And Japan up by 1, 9-8 at the moment. And yeah, time is in the favor of Japan, and today's game is brought to you in part by Karam Watches. Since 1955, Karam has adopted creativity and boldness as its guiding principles. Karam, the official timekeeper of the 2018 FIL World Championships. Learn more about Karam at www.karam-watches.com.
And we are set to go into the home stretch, the final half of the final quarter of this blue group battle, or battle for the blue group, we should say. I'm Steven Stamp with Babs Zelené. 9 minutes to play to determine a winner in this epic battle between Japan and Israel. Japan will start with possession, and Matsushita will have the ball. He's going to be watched by Paparo.
Yeah, the two players to watch.
Yeah, it is, but it's actually Joshua Offit. I saw the 5. And it looked like Paparo, but no, it makes more sense to have Offit up. I thought it was a little unlikely they'd put Paparo, the long pole, up at the far end of the field, but he's looked so comfortable in the offensive zone. Why not?
Plus, we've seen Paparo all over this field,
everywhere.
So it would not be that surprising to me. And Matsushita, Paparo, definitely the two most spoken about players of this matchup so far.
Paparo is actually matched up right by the center line on Yuki Mizuta. Play is blown in, and here we go. Matsushita trying to get by Offit. Oh, what a burst of speed to run through. That's a beautiful one-man clear. Runs through Cantor. Can anyone stop Matsushita? Seth Mahler does turn him aside. Great defense to absorb that impact. Thought for a second he was going to go to Matsushita, who looked like he was open. Discretion being the better part of valor, they held on to the ball. Hashimoto lobs it up. Sakine with a little ward, and you can hear the Israelis calling for it. That was a clear ward off to me. Their arm comes up, smacks the stick away. It wasn't a hard ward, though. Is that just a question of degree? There wasn't much behind it?
I did not see that play. Did he have?
He had the ball in his stick in one hand with the ball. He used his other hand to knock Ben Smith's stick away from him.
Then you might be correct.
I mean, it's a question of degree, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a cut to the middle and a goal. My goodness. Hashimoto. What a play. Huge celebration by Matsushita over on the far side. But Hashimoto has been glorious, and he is once again to make it 10-8 for Japan.
Coach Bill Baroza in disbelief on this one, and an ecstatic Japanese bench with a 2-goal lead yet again in this game. 7.5 to go. Time is definitely in favor of Japan, but 2-goal lead in lacrosse is nothing.
It is nothing, especially once you get into the final 3 minutes. You've got stop time, you score a goal, you can immediately get the face-off and get it back. So certainly far from out of reach. Sugihara pulls it out. He's going to get plenty of credit if they hang on to this win, but a battle back by Israel. Oh no, the ball almost picked up, but then just given away by Yoshida.
I would say complete miscommunication there by the Japanese.
But they get it back, a bit of a break, as Israel is going to throw that pass away. They will go to Hattori.
Who will take his time now?
Yes, not a rush. 6:40 to go. I'm Steven Stamp with Bab Zelenay. This is a thriller. 10-8 Japan. Can they hang on? They throw it away, and Eric Cantor is right there. Boy, 3 straight turnovers. Japan, then Israel, then Japan. Can Israel hang on to this one now? Paparo spinning, still handling with the hands right down the shaft. Silberlicht with the bouncer. That's too high. It's going to be Israel possession. Cherry will start with it behind the net. Quickly over to Offit. And Leventhal wants the ball up at the top. He's going to initiate from there. We're into the 6-minute mark. Leventhal shoots. Stopped by Hattori.
Wow.
That was very close to being a goal.
Yeah. It almost looked like it was about to go in, and then that went out of bounds by the midline point. Japanese bench getting a little bit more excited. They're not as
Zachary
calm
Paul
anymore.
dodging to the middle and then throws it to Bergman way too high. Another uncharacteristic, unforced error by Israel. And Israel will take a timeout before play is blown back in, so before Japan takes possession.
With 15 markets across the United States, 3D Lacrosse is America's premier provider of lacrosse training and player development services, including box field hybrid training, select travel teams, team tournaments, recruiting showcases, leagues, and more. Visit 3dlacrosse.com today. This game is also brought to you in part by New Balance Lacrosse. Wear what the world's best are wearing, a cleat designed specifically for lacrosse. The all-new Freeze 2.0. Get more information through the MB Lacrosse Instagram account and shop at newbalance.com/lacrosse. Sidewalls Lacrosse makes the first and only custom manufactured lacrosse heads that represent the style and individuality you bring to the game. You shouldn't have to be Picasso in order to have a custom head. Check out sidewalls.com for official 2018 FIL World Championships heads and more. That's sidewalls.com. Sidewalls with a Z.
You're a Z gal.
Yeah.
I pictured you as a Zetter.
Really? Well, Z, Z, potato, potato, right?
The Z or the Z comes at the end, the S at the beginning of Sidewalls. I'm Steven Stamp with an S at the beginning of each. And she is Bab Zelenay with a Z at the beginning of the second one.
Exactly.
And an S at the end of the first one. There's S's and Z's all over the place. Right now, it is 10-8 for Japan. They have possession. Matsushita will start with the ball with 5:27 to go. They're clearly looking back towards their own end. Hashimoto, who has been the man of the match on the Japanese side. Zachary Paul with the ride. Over to Matsushita. Matsushita passes it ahead. They're going, they're driving to the net. A jump shot stopped by Schneider. That was Natsume trying that one.
And Schneider on the run.
Almost to midfield, hands it off to Popek. He's going to dodge through a couple of Japanese players. You can really see the fatigue of the week when players are trying to dodge sideways, or trying to move sideways. Somebody who has momentum, as Popek did there, and has a line going, is very hard to dislodge for players who are trying to make that quick lateral motion.
And Schneider asking there for more support from the sidelines, from the Israeli fans. The Japanese fans currently winning that matchup.
Leventhal over to Silberlicht. Seabald comes to the top and is calling for it. He's going to initiate from the top. Puts the shoulder down. Takes a slash. Oh my goodness. That's going to be
a man up for Israel.
What is that called? Did you see the
slash?
That's what I thought, but it didn't look like a slash indication.
Well, you even called it.
Wow, that is, wow. I was a little surprised by that, especially since Seabald initiated the play by putting his shoulder down, and very similar to what he did before when he was called for a ward. Then the pass thrown away, possibly. Great work by Seabald to get after it. And lobs it back up to Offit. What an effort by Max Seabald. There's Offit ripping, it's wide, but Hunter is there to get possession.
Max Seabald not very visible in the first half, but oh man, very visible in the second one.
He takes it back, rips it, again it's wide. Hunter is there in position to get ball back for Israel, though. 3:20 to go, 10-8 Japan. Sussman over to Sebald. They get on him. The shot, though, it's a little bit late with the slide, and Sebald lasers one home. That will bring us to 3 minutes to play. It is 10-9. Israel back within one.
And that was the last second of that man up for Israel. Max Sebald on every play here now in those last 10 minutes.
You can just sense that coming. You could see Sebald over there at that wing on the shoulder, and there's just too much room. You can see the two players a little too far away. Dan Kanayama, Asao Yoshida. Who will get possession? This is a huge draw. Sugihara has been so good. Adler is so good. They're fighting, and Sugihara gets it. What a win. Cantor after him. Sugihara senses it, peels away.
Huge win at this point for Team Japan.
Hashimoto takes it. He is double teamed immediately. They've got to make their changes quickly. There's a man in the middle of the field. They get it. Oh, not to him. Couldn't find Motoshita. It's still loose one. Now Motoshita will track it down. He's headed straight to his own end. Runs into Popek. And great communication. That was Oba. Oba just pleading for the ball because he knew how much trouble Motoshita was in. Japan gets into the attacking zone in the stick of Sugu. He's watched by Cantor as he runs around behind the net.
2 minutes to go in this battle. What a game.
Schneider is getting out into the ride, into the defense. That's Hashimoto down on the crease, the goal! What a finish by Kanaya. Great setup by Hashimoto. 1:51 to play. The 2-goal lead is restored. And Sugihara trots out. He's the first man out to his position for the faceoff. He cannot wait to try and get this ball back for Japan. I'll tell you, if Japan wins this faceoff, it will be huge for them. Max Adler knows what he needs to do.
Bill Baroza and the Israeli coaching staff is half on the field there, asking for a call. I'm not sure exactly what they were asking for, to be honest. I did not see anything controversial there. Randy Milo.
What?
No goal. I'm not sure what that signal was.
They're putting time
so we're
back
putting
on.
time back on the clock.
It was offside?
I can't tell you right now, to be honest. Trying to see what the signal was. It looked like too many men from box lacrosse, but
the Japanese coaches can't believe it. I mean, the ball clearly went in. I believe they're saying offside. It's going to go up to 2 minutes. Israel is complaining that the violation had occurred and the clock kept running for 30 seconds. Israel wants more time. They're not going to get it. They're going to get 2 minutes put up, so they get about 9 seconds back. And here's pressure on Sebald. He is using everything he's got to get up over center, and he achieves it. So it is still 10-9. Shocking call because there was no indication. Apparently the violation had happened well before the goal.
I really cannot tell you what happened there. I shall find out after this game, but that will be too late.
Sebald tosses it up to Leventhal. So there is no margin of insurance. There is no margin for error for Japan. They have to be perfect here for the final minute and a half. Bergman gets it down to Cherry. And the pass skips away from Offit. It was right off the side of his head. Japan will have it with 1:23 to go. How far up are we having a timeout? We do have a timeout.
What an epic battle at this epic field. Epic Lacrosse, the leader in technologically advanced lacrosse equipment, is proud to be the official head, shaft, glove, and arm equipment protection of the 2018 FIL World Championships in Netanya, Israel. Epic is proud that so many teams from around the globe trusted it for all their gear needs here in Netanya. Epic Lacrosse, live, play, be Trusted Choice is the official insurance partner of the 2018 FIL World Championships. Protect what matters most, from business to home, auto and life. Trusted Choice independent insurance agents are there for you when disaster strikes. Go to trustedchoice.com to find a local agent today. And let's see which of these teams will be stricken by disaster at the end of this battle here. Both want to go for blue. Both will be absolutely heartbroken if it doesn't happen for them. Japan up by 1 after, yeah, I would say in this case, indeed a controversial call, because I have no idea what it was.
And you don't recognize the indication of the one arm on top of the other. So, I mean, here's the goal that we're seeing. We just have no idea what it was that nullified that goal. It clearly had happened quite a while before. The stall warning is
now
on.
I do know. Okay, so stall warning was in effect, and they argued that they had stepped out of the box prior to that shot. That's the only explanation I can find on this call. Also because the Israeli bench was all over the trail official who is responsible for this call in there. So
fantastic work by the camera crew and by our producers and the production crew to
now
get
I recognize that signal by Randy Milo. I didn't see it when he showed it the first time.
Pass ahead to Hashimoto.
I did not notice the stall warning being in effect.
He runs into the offensive zone. He's dragged down by Silverlick. Jumps back up. Now he's picked up by Kadish. Keeps running. We're down to 105. Double team is coming. They've got the 10-man ride on for sure. Now Schneider will actually almost slip back in front of his net. He's being aware of where Japan is coming.
Less than a minute to go.
Oh, there's the pass, wide open. But they're being turned away. Kruter going after Motoshita. Stall warning is on, and the ball is thrown away. The pass a bit wild, and it gets away from Sakina. I can't believe he threw that pass. We have 37 seconds to go, and Israel has possession. And what? Was that a holding call? Now, we've seen several calls changed in the course of this game after discussions. We'll see if we have another one here. I mean, it was changed after the last goal, so it's kind of there's quite a precedent. Right now, the ball is being awarded to Japan. This is going to be a much reviewed game.
Not easy for the official right now. Jacob in front of the Israeli fans, getting an earful on that one. I can't tell you what happened. I really don't know.
They're going to lob it all the way back to Haptori, and that ball taking some crazy hops. It's a good thing he has that big goalie stick. Oh, but the ball pops out of the stick. It's grabbed again, though. Nice pass ahead to Kanayama. He's sprinting the offensive zone. Sorry, that's Tanashima.
The Israeli defense is giving it an absolute all.
Sugu is flattened, but gets the pass off just in time. Another lob pass over to the far side. It's caught. The stall warning goes on. Motoshita with the ball. And it's over. That is it. The end of Israel's chances of getting to the blue group, and they are going after the official. Zachary Paul is in the face of the official. Bill Baroza is waving him off so he can go yell at him. Baroza, his arms up wide, getting right in the face, the finger in the face. He has got to be careful here if he wants to coach in the next game.
Well, Randy Milo, a very experienced NCAA official, he will not let his crew down there. He will protect his crew.
Yep. And Bill Baroza,
I tell you,
he
let the coaching staff get into the face of the officials.
And Bill Baroza is being adamant to keep his team away. He is going to take the heat. He is going to be the one out there expressing his opinions. He doesn't want the rest of his coaching staff there. He's taking this on. Japan, meanwhile, we're missing out on Japan celebrating their return to the
Bill
blue
Baroza
group
is following
with a
this official crew on the
10-9
field.
win.
And
that is an exciting moment in the history of Japanese lacrosse. Remember, 4 times they have finished in the top 6 at the World Championships. This will make it 5. They're going to have a chance to go as high as 5th.
So Japan battled their way back into the blue division after a disastrous finish 4 years ago. They did not want to repeat that and are back in blue division with this win over home team Israel, 10-9. And look at this replay of some of these goals that we've seen in this game. This one waved off after a stalling infraction. That would have been the 2-goal lead just at the end. I mean, a beautiful goal nevertheless.
Yeah.
Even though, oh, look at the Japanese squad celebrating. Their fans are ecstatic. And a heartbroken Israeli squad lining up for the handshake in disbelief that they have not won this one over Japan. Japanese players have presents for each of their opponents.
What a finish to what a game here at the 2018 FIL World Lacrosse Championships. I'm Steven Stamp. I have been joined by Babs Zelene. Thank you so much for being here, Babs. Great to have you along.
I've got to tell you, this was very exciting. Thank you so much for inviting me up here for this game. Unbelievable. Yeah, everybody's stunned, I think.
And thank you, lacrosse friends, for being with us for this thriller on Epic Field, Field 4 at the Wingate Institute. I'm Steven Stamp on behalf of Babs Zelene and everyone in the truck and the camera guys. Thanks so much for being with us. There's more action to come. I'm on England, Puerto Rico in a bit. We'll see if that can match the excitement for this one. Hard to imagine, but it seems to happen game after game. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you soon.